You want to find out what's the best high scoring defense in fantasy football this year? Where we're fixing to tell you.
That's right. We are C&D Gaming. We're going to find out what are the best defenses are today. We're going to go through a couple of them with you. Continue our fantasy podcast. So let's see where we can
Yes.
get going, buddy.
Welcome back to the videos and podcasts, everybody. It's been a minute since we made a video, but
Yeah, it has been. We've
we've
been
been
preoccupied with another
we've been
game.
yeah, we've just been like everybody else. We've been occupied with some college football, which has been really
Yeah,
fun.
man.
We've enjoyed that, and comment and let us know if you want to see some college football content too. We'll be glad to put some of that out.
Oh, absolutely. That'll be one of our next projects, getting some stuff going on there. So we're going to talk about defenses today, buddy.
All right, let's go. That's an
Fantasy,
important part
man,
of
it's like
fantasy.
right here around the corner, dude. Like preseason started already. So I mean, it's no better time to talk about some fantasy football. I mean, some people probably
Right.
getting close to doing drafts and stuff, us included. We got ours coming up and stuff. A little ways away still, but
Yeah. It's right around the corner, man. They had the first, the Hall of Fame game last night, and it was just fun to see football back on the TV.
absolutely, man. I'm ready for the real deal to start now. All right,
Man,
so
I'm
we're gonna do what
telling
we
you.
always do, man. We'll just go through maybe our top five. So I got a couple of picks here. Get us started with.
All right.
So talking about defenses, I'm gonna go ahead and start with the team that we are playing with, man. The Jets. I think, I mean, the Jets have had a solid defense for a while now. I mean, it's been pretty good. It's not the greatest, but it's getting there.
Right.
They got some good cornerbacks. I mean, you know, one of them's on our team already. Got an X factor on our team. Uh, got some good guys in that part of the field. And then I know that their schedule of strength is kind of middle of the pack. I've looked at that stuff and kind of thought through that. And
Yeah.
then with Rogers coming back, the offense should start doing a little better. Keep the defense off the field. If Rogers can stay healthy and stuff, it'll really help get the offense cooking. Help the defense stay a little more fresh. They had to play a lot last year with the way their offense went. So,
Right.
I
Yeah.
mean, like I said, they did pretty good last year considering the circumstances they had. So, I think it should be
Yeah.
even better this year with a healthy quarterback and a
That's
great
a
offense running.
that's a good pick. They just the only issue right now, I think, with their defense is their new pass rusher they got that's still holding out. He's not showed up to camp yet. Hassan Reddick, and you know they brought him in for a reason because he's a really really good pass rusher. But hopefully they can get that situation figured out and he starts showing up. And man, they'll be one of the top teams this year. Me personally, I think they'll be the best in their division. I think they're going to win their division this year.
All right, cool, cool. So, first pick for me, good already. Number two, I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna go with the Texans, man. We've talked about the Texans a lot. We've picked a
Yeah,
lot of their stuff. I don't know, man. I just have like a good feeling about them in general. They
right.
added some new players, some new good guys, a couple of good people on their team now. They've added. Um, I think they had a pretty decent defense last year. They were kind of middle of the pack with the defense. They weren't fantastic, but they weren't bad. I mean, that was pretty good considering. Same thing. I mean, they had a lot of rookies, a lot of changes with coaching and stuff, and they did really good through all that. So with that said, I mean, I think that they will continue to prove their offense will probably get a little bit better too, just with CJ entering, year two. So that helps with anytime the offense is doing good, it helps the defense feel better.
Right.
Probably the biggest negative is they do have a pretty tough schedule, but I think they'll be okay. I think they can work through that. I think they'll be pretty solid, man.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see it. They are young, like you said. Got a lot of rookies and all, but I mean, their head coach is one of the best defensive coordinators in the league. When he was with the 49ers, and he come
Yep.
over there as the head coach, D'Amico Ryans, and he knows his defense, man. So he's gonna get them right. That's for sure. He's gonna get them right.
All right, man. Number three. Number three. I'm gonna probably go with the Steelers. I'm gonna go with the Steelers on this one.
Oh, that's surprising a little bit.
Yeah, I hate them so, but I will
Yeah.
say that the thing with the Steelers is they generally have a good defense, pretty much anyway, all the time. I mean, they're one of those teams that just consistently do a good job on defense, and I really think that I'm sorry, I was distracted by that play, dude.
That was wild, dude.
Yeah, it was crazy. But anyway, yeah, I think they made some good improvements and stuff, to a team that was already pretty good on defense. So they just helped build that up a little bit. Same
Right.
thing, like I said, I talk about offense a lot when I talk about defense. Nice. Um, a new quarterback situation probably will help them out. If Russell Wilson's playing, I don't really know what the situation is entirely there, but if he's
Right.
playing, takes the pressure off the defense, the offense should run a little bit better.
I think
Um,
even if not to cut you off, but
no, you're good. Go ahead.
even if Russell ain't playing, Justin Fields has been showing out in camp too. So I mean, either one of
Well,
them,
that's
you know.
true. I mean, yeah, they have some solid players at quarterback now. They get a little bit better in that situation and stuff. They have a lot more options.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, exactly. And I think they're also another point. And like I said, I don't have anything in front of me or nothing, but I'm pretty sure that the Steelers. Like I said, they're generally a good team, and I'm pretty sure they're projected in the top 10 for fantasy.
Right.
So anybody that's projected high like that, obviously they're going to be a lot of eyes on a team like that. But if they happen to slip down the board and stuff, or you get to a point where you feel comfortable taking a defense and they're there,
Right.
I absolutely feel like they're a team that'd be solid to grab.
Okay. Well, this is gonna be my first one that I'm gonna disagree with you on. I think that with T.J. Watt, is their best defensive player by far. And you also got Minka Fitzpatrick, your safety, which he's very very good. But when they lost T.J. Watt last year, for part of the season, man, they struggled, and he's a big part of their defense. And I feel like they need some more players besides just one or two here and there. But T.J. Watt and Minka Fitzpatrick is the reason I feel like that they're such a high quality defense. But without them two guys, man, I think they're just a bottom of the barrel defense.
I mean, I'll give you credit for that. The thing with with the Steelers is like on paper, on football, on the schedule and stuff, they're really not the best of a team, right? They're not winning a ton of games and stuff. But from a fantasy
Right.
perspective, they usually do really well. So I mean, even if you got this team that's not doing great in the actual season, that's not really important to me. When we're talking about fantasy. So I still think for that reason, I'm gonna argue with you a little bit. I still think for that reason that they still should be a solid pick, just because, like I said, I mean, even if they lose every game this season, their defense, I think, will do enough. Like you said, with those two key players, the interceptions, the sacks, and stuff will give you a lot of points and really help out. So
Right.
that's my reasoning for that.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
guess I guess we'll just find out when the season starts, won't we? We'll find out.
Yeah. All right, I got two more, man. I'm gonna fire them off a little bit faster here. I'm gonna go with the Lions next.
Okay.
Uh, another thing we talked about the Lions a lot. I mean, they're another team that I feel pretty good about in general. They had a good year last year. It should continue to be even better. Um, they had a bad secondary last year. They had some issues back there, but I think they've addressed some of that and they kind of helped. We've seen that they're able to get pressure, get sacks. They have a
Yeah.
high power offense. Like I said, offense helps the defense. High power
Right.
offense, it should really help keep the defense from having to have a lot of time on the field. And if everybody on that offense continues with the way they were doing last year, then the defense should have plenty of time to rest and stuff. And
Right.
I think they're going to be pretty solid. I think they fixed a lot of their issues.
Yeah, I like that one. I like the Detroit's defense. They're kind of like the Houston's defense. They're a lot of rookies. They're real young. Their general manager, I'm not sure what his name is off the top of my head, but the last two or three drafts he's made, his picks have been spot on, man, and he's picked out some really good ball players, and they've been showing it week in and week out, and I think they'll only get better this year. So yeah, I agree. I think they'll be one of the top ones for sure.
All right, my last one, I'm going to go with the Patriots, okay? It's kind of weird to say. This is the one I wasn't entirely sure about. But with the Patriots, I mean, when I looked at this stuff, I went back and I looked at like some of the stats from last year and kind of the projections and stuff.
Right.
And I know that they were not a big team that a lot of people paid attention to last year. But if you go back and you look at their fantasy stats and stuff, they were pretty decent, honestly. Like you look at the points and stuff that they got in fantasy, and they were a pretty solid defense, realistically, from a fantasy standpoint. Now, from a real standpoint, obviously the team was trash, but
Right.
we're talking about fantasy football. Um, I will say that I think something that helped them a little bit. They got maybe a better quarterback situation. We're not sure yet, but things feel a little bit better in that situation there with the quarterback. They do have some new coaching. Some of the big injury guys that got hurt should be coming back. And I think that if all things go well, if things can really line up for them, I'm not going to say they're going to be a winning team or nothing like that, but I do think their defense will still be pretty solid. If you get into the later rounds and maybe you kind of just want an extra backup defense, maybe you don't get a chance to grab the one you really want. I think they're really worth looking at because, like I said,
Right.
looking at their past and stuff, if they can continue that, they should be pretty solid.
Okay, I got you. That's not a bad option there. So that's your 5,
That's
correct?
my
Yes,
five,
sir.
buddy. Yes,
All
sir.
right, let's get into mine real quick. So number 1 for me, I'm gonna say um, somebody that's in your division. I'm gonna say the
Oh
49ers.
gosh.
Uh, I don't see a reason why they don't continue to be like they are. They got some great playmakers on defense, and I think they'll continue to be a high scoring defense, and they they get the job done for you for sure.
All right, I'm gonna disagree with you, okay?
All right.
Because I hate the 49ers, but they're gonna have to play Arizona twice a year. We're gonna stomp them. We're gonna get 50 points on them, and that's gonna ruin your whole fantasy year. So don't pick them.
Okay, I
No, I'm
like it.
just
I
kidding.
like it.
No, I mean, yeah, definitely. Yeah, obviously, 49ers are one of those teams that they in
Yeah,
a good
they're
spot. I mean, for the players that they have and the talent they have, this might be their last year of success. So
right.
expect them to go out with a bang. I'm thinking they're gonna really try to really make a big push. So I definitely think that's a good pick, man.
All right, appreciate it.
Although I hate
Appreciate
them.
it. Number 2, I'm gonna say team also that made it to the playoffs last year, AFC team. I'm gonna say the Baltimore Ravens. They got some kind of a mix between older guys and some rookies, and there's some ball players, man. Man, Kyle Hamilton is one of the best safeties in the league, if not the best safety. And that dude flies around, and he's like a seeking missile to wherever the ball is. That's where he is. So I continue. I think the Ravens is going to be even better this year with the addition of Derrick Henry, and I think they'll make it to the playoffs again for sure.
All right, I'm gonna disagree on that one, but we're gonna circle back to it later because it's gonna be a later segment. Okay.
Okay. All right. Don't
All right.
forget it. Don't forget it.
I won't forget it. I got it.
Okay. All right. So let's see here. Moving on. Number 3. Number 3. This defense, they was good the year before last. They played lights out. Last year they kind of tapered off a little bit towards the end of the season and didn't play that good. But I think Philadelphia's defense is gonna pick back up this year and be really good. They're young. They got a bunch of Georgia players, which obviously I'm a Georgia Bulldog fan. So let's go Dogs, and I think they're bouncing back this year.
I'm gonna go ahead and agree with you, man. I think they're gonna have something to prove. They're gonna be playing with that chip on their shoulder kind of situation. I think they're gonna be really trying to bounce back to their former glory. I mean, they did lose a couple people and stuff on some sides of the ball, but nothing huge.
Right.
But I think I agree with you on that one. I think they're gonna really be trying to prove something, play a little harder, and I think that they'll push them to a good point, in the team and stuff. So I
Yeah.
don't see them. I mean, there's no way they're gonna just continue to regress and go backwards. I think for sure that they're gonna try to push it forward and go back to, like I said, how they used to be. So I agree with you on
Yeah.
that one.
All right. Number 4. This is a team, dude. I absolutely hate, honestly. Uh, but I mean, their defense is too good not to mention. The Kansas City Chiefs, man. Their defense. It seems like every year they start out horrible, and then for whatever reason they figure it out really quick, and they get it together, man. And they got some playmakers. They got some dudes that'll pick the ball off, and I don't I don't. They've gotten better. I don't think they've gotten worse, and I don't see any reason for them to slow down. I mean, they paid Chris Jones last year, um, and they're gonna do it again, man.
Yeah, I hate to agree with you, man, but you're right. The Chiefs. I mean, I've said every time we talk about him, you can't bet against him, dude. I mean, same thing I said. When you have a good offense, defense usually does pretty well. And I mean, they've gotten better. They've added some players and stuff throughout the couple of years. And
Yeah.
yeah, you're definitely right on that. As much as I hate to say it.
Appreciate it. All right, number 5. Now this last one here, I'm sure I'm gonna have a lot of people disagree with me, but I'm gonna say my team. I'm gonna say the Panthers defense. Last year, we was obviously 2-15 or what is it? What is it?
Whatever it is, I don't
Whatever
remember.
it is. I mean, however many games it is,
A
we only
lot.
won 2. Yeah, but if y'all really, if anybody like really watched Panthers games and anything, y'all would know that our defense wasn't the problem. Like we had a top 10 defense, but they just couldn't. Our offense couldn't do anything, so our defense just got wore out. And by the fourth quarter, they just let teams start scoring on them. And that was the big story last year with us. And we got a lot of the same players coming back. We did get rid of a lot at the same time, but we got some new guys in there. We got Jadavian Clowney coming in. We got Josie Jewell for linebacker. J.C. Horn will be back. Derek Brown got a contract, so I'm looking forward. We also kept our defense coordinator Ejiro Evero, and I think it's good to have consistency with the defensive coordinator. So I think Carolina's going to be a top 10 defense and fantasy defense this year.
Dude, I think I've said it like 10 times this video, but I'm going to say it again, man. Offense makes a good defense. That's exactly the problem that Carolina had, like you said, last year. I
Yep.
agree. I think their defense was underrated, and I think they're going to be underrated again. But
Yep.
it feels like, this is a big year for the offense to step up and, change some things. And if they
Oh
can
yeah.
do that, then yeah, 100%. Yeah, I think that the defense will be definitely worth looking into, especially because there's not going to be a lot of people even on their radar with the Panthers. A lot of people
Right.
think that they're the worst team and stuff. But
Yeah.
to somebody who knows fantasy football and knows what to look for, a lot of people listen to this. I'm sure you do, but I think that I think the Panthers will be solid just because we've seen them last year hold the games to a very close game until the very end, like he said.
Yeah.
So
That's right. And oh man, I meant to grab it. uh, but yeah, they. I'm excited for Carolina, man. And I really think their offense is gonna finally show up this year, and with Dave Canales and Bryce is gonna really show what kind of player he can be this year. I mean, training camps look good so far. The videos and clips I've seen, man, they look good and got new weapons, and I'm ready to roll. I'm ready to get the season started.
well. I'm going to circle back to the Ravens thing because we're at the
Okay, yeah,
point of our videos where we normally talk about a team that you would say to avoid.
right.
And that's honestly the team I had picked
That's
out
your
for the
that's your
avoid.
void team, bro.
It is my avoid, bro. And I got a couple of reasons for that, okay?
All right, all right. I
If
was
you look
surprised a
back,
little bit. I ain't
and
gonna
like I
lie.
said, I did my research a little bit here, so I'm not just throwing stuff, at the wall. But I will say, man, like the Ravens are a good team. They are, but I look back at the past couple of years. I look back at last year in particular too, and if you look at their like whole schedule from last year, they're very inconsistent.
Right,
They have a tough schedule every year, and they're going to have the hardest, like one of the hardest, maybe if not, maybe I don't know if it could be the hardest. They're definitely in the top five of the hardest schedules this year, and they're playing high caliber teams. They're in a division that's pretty tough.
right.
I just say, man, with those couple of things, it's kind of hard to really put a lot of faith in their defense. The inconsistencies. Um, I think they lost, a couple of their coaches. They lost some players. A lot of stuff changed, and I mean that's not always a bad thing. I'm sure they got some rookies and stuff that's going to help, maybe pick up a little bit. But
Right.
I just see them. They're playing tough teams. They're probably gonna have a lot of big shootout games. They do that a lot. They
Yeah.
have a lot of games where it's back and forth. I mean, it's good for when you're watching as a fan or if you're just watching for fun, like seeing those big shootouts. But if you're looking at a fantasy perspective on the defensive side, it's not good. You know what
Right.
I mean? Because they play these high caliber teams and they back and forth, back and forth. There, yeah. No matter defense can do their best, but if they're still putting up, they're getting 40 points put against them or whatever, it's gonna be rough. So that's my reasoning for that. Looking back at their past and stuff, like I said, them inconsistencies would really. That's my opinion. You've heard
Okay.
two different opinions, maybe. You've heard one person say take them, one person
Yeah.
not say take them. You take it the way you want to take it, but I'm gonna say avoid the Ravens.
All right. I'm with it. I mean, just like I said with the other team, I was like, I guess we'll find out when the season starts. But
Yeah,
I'm,
exactly.
I'm very curious to see how it plays out for Baltimore. That's for sure. Because I feel like this is their year to, win it all. I guess you would say. So let's find
Yeah.
out. So, all right, let me give you my one void team this year in fantasy. And it's gonna be a little shocker for y'all. I ain't gonna lie because this team's they've made the playoffs the last couple of years, but they can't never do anything else. They can make the playoffs and they play really 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 good during the regular season and then they flame out. But I'm gonna
Can I
say
take
the
a
Dallas
guess?
Cowboys.
Ah,
Oh,
damn, I was
sorry,
gonna
sorry.
guess. You're good.
Yeah,
Nah, you're good.
yeah,
I knew this was gonna be. I was gonna take a
yeah.
guess. Actually, I kind of thought maybe the Bills for a second too, but anyway, not important.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Cowboys defense. They lost their middle linebacker Leighton Vander Esch. He retired from his neck injury, which you never want to see nobody have a career-ending injury, but he just couldn't get over it and ended up had to retire. So thoughts and prayers to him. He'll have a good rest of his life, I'm sure. They lost their defensive coordinator to Washington. He's their new head coach, and Dan Quinn. They got Mike Zimmer in there now, and you don't know how that's going to be. Um, you don't know how that's going to be in practice. With the new defense coordinator versus new players. They had lost Stephon Gilmore, who's a free agent right now. So they lost some key pieces on their defense. They still got Michael Parsons and all, but from what I've seen in training camp, he hadn't looked too hot this year yet. So I don't know if it's just because it's training camp and he's not really trying. But I don't think the Dallas Cowboys defense is going to be a very uh, high scoring fantasy defense this year. And honestly, I don't feel like the team's going to make the playoffs this year either. I think it's going to be the worst Cowboy seasons they've had in a few years. That's just my personal opinion.
I
But
mean, I'm agree with you, man. Like, they're one of those teams that feels like they're just one key injury away from like just being terrible, and that's the thing. It's sad, it
right,
is. I know you don't want to get hurt or nothing, but I
right,
mean, it's just like one of those big name guys go down like Parsons or something. Because it goes down, and like their defense really loses a lot of its flame, and it's
yeah,
always possible. So you don't want to take the risk of drafting their team, And that's another thing too. You look back at their fantasy year, and they were pretty inconsistent. They had some really good games, they had some really bad games, and that inconsistency and stuff. It's kind of scary in fantasy because you want to you try to look at players that you can just, and defenses included, that you can just put on your team and forget about them. But when they're inconsistent like that, you got to worry about what we can take them in and out and stuff. So
right,
yeah, I think that's a good idea to just avoid that team also.
yeah. And just a little piece of advice since we're talking about defenses for everybody. Real quick here at the end of our wrapping up our video. Um, if you have like a quarterback and like a wide receiver, tight end, and maybe like a running back or something, all from the same team, do not draft the same defense to that team. That'll really hurt you. If they lose a game, it'll really hurt your team. So try to be mindful a little bit of what players you got, and then try to get a defense that's not with has a bunch of players from their offense on there too.
Absolutely, that's a good point. Something we'll talk about maybe in another video is kind of some stuff like that too. So.
Yeah,
Uh, but yeah, I mean, we got some solid picks in there. If you're listening, take it how you want to take it. And you decide which of those defenses we mentioned you'd want to pick. Because I mean, I think we gave you 10 total options, but
absolutely.
we didn't pick any same team. So
Yeah.
that's 10 good options for defenses right there.
Let us know if you got a defense that we didn't say that you think that you think is somebody that we left out. Let us know. Go to our
There
YouTube
are,
channel and leave us a comment on this video, and we'll be interested to see what y'all guys think.
or maybe if one of the teams that we said is one of your avoid teams, let us
Yeah,
know. Tell us why you feel that way, and we're happy for the feedback or the argument,
absolutely.
whatever you want to take it as.
Absolutely, or the trash talk. Y'all just want to tell us how dumb we are.
Yeah,
We'll take it
we're
too.
cool with it.
No, we're just excited for football to be back, man. That's honestly.
Absolutely. So for the podcast listeners, we appreciate you guys tuning in. For the video guys watching, we got a couple more plays here. We're gonna run this game out. We're gonna win, and that's gonna be it for us.
Yeah, we
See
thank
where we go
y'all for
from there.
listening, and hope you enjoyed it. And keep a lookout for these. We'll be back. Or next time we might bring you a kicker podcast next.
Absolutely. Talk about some weird positions.
Yeah, some flexes and kickers, and we still got several little things that we can talk about. So y'all just keep us light, share the podcast. Like our YouTube, subscribe, and just share the video, man. We appreciate it. It means a lot to us.
All right, video watchers. Like I said, we got a little bit of time left here. We're gonna run out this clock, see what we can do.
Let's go. It's been a pretty good game, man. I've had a couple little mishap for myself, but
Yeah, I about had a pick six, man. I was close.
I know that was almost.
I was so
almost
close.
had it.
Hey, you blocked the field goal too, right? I mean,
I did, yeah. I blocked the field
that's
goal.
rare. Like, good
Yeah.
lord. Well,
I've
that
got
never happens anymore.
got used to doing it on that college game. It got a little easier to do it
Yeah,
on
that's true. Yeah.
there.
Personal foul. Rough and
Uh-oh.
Got one. Oh, that was
got-
you.
Got one of my legendary calls, baby. Let's go.
Always happens. We have our little penalties that we both decide to get. Mine's freaking pass interference, illegal contact. Yours is roughing and jumping offside.
Yep.
Oh. I ain't gonna lie, this team's
Good hit.
been. I mean, they've been fighting, man.
Yeah, man.
They've had some pretty.
Oh,
pretty solid
Devontae,
plays
he
against
ain't
us.
forgetting us. We ain't letting
I
him
know,
know how
man.
old he is. He's fucking. There he is. They
Get
trying to hit
another
him again. Yeah.
He about did. So since we
Devontae
talked
Adams.
about defenses and we mentioned the Jets, man, what do you think about the Jets? You think they're gonna have a pretty good year next year?
Oh yeah, yeah. Like I said earlier in the video, I think they're gonna win their division this year. I think it's gonna be.
Say that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry about that.
No, you're
Yeah.
good. I think they're gonna be the champs this year, as long as everybody can stay healthy. If Rodgers can stay healthy on offense, man, and all their running backs, Brees can stay healthy, receivers, I don't see any reason why the Jets don't make the playoffs this year.
You know, I'm not like a huge Rodgers fan or nothing. Like, I mean, like I don't have a problem with him or nothing, but I'm not like a gigantic like fan of him or whatever. But I'm
Right.
gonna be honest, man. I'm kind of hoping to get to see him play. Like, I hope he, hope he has a good season. He, obviously hope he don't get hurt, but I really hope he can, play and have a good season. It'd be kind of cool to see him on a new team. I mean,
Yeah.
we had that tiny little taste last year, and then the injury happened. But see somebody playing, it's cool when you see see a guy. Like, especially somebody kind of legendary like that, him, Tom Brady, same thing, where like they play on a team for so long, man, their whole career, then all of a sudden, like, they just randomly switch to another team. It's kind of cool seeing stuff like that. And like, I was a little bummed
it
out
is.
when he got hurt and really didn't get to see him that much on the Jets. So kind of
Right.
excited to see what he does this year.
Yeah, especially with his weapons. I feel like he ain't never had this good of weapons. At least in the past 4 or 5 years in Green Bay, he had some good weapons back when Jordy Nelson and all them was there. But he got some really really good weapons now, and I'm excited to see what he can do.
Yeah, man. I think like you said, if they can stay healthy, dude, and they can like run their offense smooth, man, they got some big name players on there. We've talked about a couple of them in some of our videos, but I mean, Hall should have a really good season if everything goes
Yeah.
well for him. Obviously, Rodgers connecting with like Wilson, maybe their tight end.
Mike
depends on what happens
Williams.
there and
They
stuff.
got their new Mike
yeah,
Williams
he's
there.
Mike Williams. He's
Who
coming
else
back
did
from
they
an
got?
injury.
Let's see, they
Somebody
got,
else, man.
They got somebody else that I'm not thinking about for some reason.
Was it Allen? They got Allen.
Allen.
Was it
Allen
Allen?
who? No, the Bears is who got Keenan Allen.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right.
Uh,
All these
Damn.
changes, man. It's hard to keep up with them.
who was it? Leave us a comment. Let us know who we're forgetting. We know we're
Yeah.
thinking.
There's been so many changes, man. This has been
Oh,
it's been a
crazy.
big year for these changes. I mean, every year fantasy feels that way, but man, it's just it's something this year. Just I don't know, maybe it just feels so different because it's fresh on our mind. But man, there's a lot of big names that went to new teams and stuff, like big changes like that. It's kind of neat.
Yeah, that's true.
I've had a pretty good off season. It's just coming to an end finally. I'm ready for the on season.
That's right. I know.
God,
It's pretty much back. I mean, preseason started now,
Yeah.
and then we got we just need fall to get here. Once fall kicks in, then it's gonna be like yeah, it's football season here.
I'm ready for that
Yeah.
first day walking outside and you know, where we live, it's hot right now. Walking outside, man, and just feeling that fall air, that crispness, and just knowing
Yeah.
that football is going to be on. It's a
Right.
great feeling, man.
Oh, absolutely.
Gotta love it. Dang, bro, your team got beat up down there, 28-0.
Oh, I don't. Why you bring that up, bro?
I'm sorry, bro. Should have ended
Uh,
on a happy note, not a sad note. I'm sorry.
nah.
It's okay. I'm sure the Cardinals will pop up in a second. They'll be
Of course,
like
of course, it had to
50 to
be the
0.
Bears too.
The Bears.
All
All right,
right.
well, that's it for our video. Also, we appreciate you guys tuning in. Same thing. I mean, you know, leave us some comments and just let us know how we're doing and anything you want to add or any suggestions or anything. You know, we love the feedback. Anything you want to let us know.
Oh yeah, no doubt. Yeah, appreciate y'all watching, and just leave a like and share and comment, and we'll catch you on the next one.